Right now, in thousands of homes across America, a loving dog owner is doing something that feels completely innocent, but is quietly damaging their dog's organs. They're not feeding scraps from a dirty dumpster. They're not being careless. They're doing it with love, sitting on the couch, sharing a little piece of their dinner, their snack, their fruit. And they have no idea that one of these 5 everyday foods could be the reason their dog ends up at an emergency vet clinic, or worse, doesn't make it home at all. If you own a dog or you're planning to get one, you need to watch this until the very end, because food number 4 on this list is hiding in almost every American kitchen right now, and most people have never even heard its name. Before we go further, if you love dogs and you want more videos like this that could genuinely save your best friend's life, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications, because we post real, practical, life-saving information for pet owners every single week. It takes 2 seconds, and it truly helps this channel grow so we can keep making videos that protect dogs everywhere. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start with the one almost everyone already suspects, but very few people understand why it's actually dangerous: chocolate. You've probably heard someone say, "Don't give your dog chocolate," but have you ever wondered what actually happens inside their body? Chocolate contains a compound called theobromine, along with caffeine. Humans can process theobromine easily. Our bodies break it down and flush it out within hours. Dogs, on the other hand, metabolize it extremely slowly. So instead of passing through their system, it builds up, and it starts attacking the heart and the nervous system directly. A small amount of milk chocolate might just cause an upset stomach, some vomiting, some diarrhea. But dark chocolate, baking chocolate, and cocoa powder are a completely different story. These contain far higher concentrations of theobromine, and even a small piece, especially for a small breed dog, can trigger a racing heartbeat, tremors, seizures, and in the worst cases, sudden death. The scary part is, the symptoms don't always show up immediately. Sometimes it takes 6 to 12 hours before your dog starts acting strange, restless, panting heavily, unable to settle down. By the time owners notice something is wrong, the toxin has already been absorbed into the bloodstream. So if your dog ever gets into chocolate, don't wait to see what happens. Call your vet or an animal poison control hotline immediately and try to figure out roughly how much and what type your dog consumed, because that information can save precious time in treatment. Now here's one that shocks almost every dog owner watching this, because this food is considered one of the healthiest snacks for humans: grapes, and their dried form, raisins. For years, veterinarians didn't fully understand why some dogs who ate grapes ended up with sudden kidney failure while others seemed completely fine. Even today, researchers haven't pinpointed the exact toxic compound with total certainty. But what we do know for a fact is this: grapes and raisins can cause acute kidney failure in dogs, and it can happen unpredictably, sometimes with just a small handful. There's no safe, small amount that's guaranteed to be fine, because some dogs react severely to a tiny quantity, while other dogs might eat more and show no symptoms at all. And that unpredictability is exactly what makes this so dangerous. The warning signs usually begin with vomiting within a few hours, followed by lethargy, loss of appetite, and abdominal pain. Within a day or two, if untreated, the kidneys can begin shutting down completely, and at that point, the damage may already be irreversible. So please, if you're someone who snacks on grapes, raisins, or trail mix while your dog is sitting nearby with those big, hopeful eyes, resist the urge to share, and make sure grapes never end up loose on the floor, in a fruit bowl within reach, or in kids' lunchboxes left on a low table. Moving on to something that's in almost every single kitchen in America, sitting right there in your spice rack or your cutting board: onions and garlic. These belong to a plant family that contains compounds which are toxic to a dog's red blood cells. When a dog eats onions or garlic, whether raw, cooked, powdered, or even in small amounts hidden inside sauces, soups, or seasoned meat, these compounds start breaking down and damaging red blood cells, causing something called hemolytic anemia. In simple words, the dog's blood literally starts losing its ability to carry oxygen properly throughout the body. And here's the tricky part. Garlic in particular is often praised online as some kind of natural supplement for dogs, and some old wives' tales even claim it helps repel fleas. Please ignore that advice completely, because the toxic effect is very real. And garlic is actually considered several times more potent than onions in terms of toxicity per pound of body weight. The symptoms often don't appear right away. It can take a few days for a dog to start looking pale in the gums, breathing rapidly, feeling weak, losing appetite, or having orange to dark red urine, which is a major red flag that red blood cells are being destroyed. Because these symptoms are delayed, many owners don't even connect it back to the leftover pizza slice or the seasoned rice they shared days earlier. So the safest rule is simple. Keep anything containing onion or garlic completely away from your dog's bowl, including many broths, gravies, and pre-made human foods that seem harmless on the surface. Now here's the one I promised you at the beginning, the ingredient that's hiding in more products than you'd ever expect, and honestly, most dog owners have never even heard this word before today. Xylitol. It's an artificial sweetener used as a sugar substitute, and it's become incredibly common because it's marketed as a healthier, low-calorie option for humans. You'll find it in sugar-free gum, sugar-free candy, certain peanut butters, protein bars, baked goods, toothpaste, and even some medications and vitamins. For humans, it's considered perfectly safe, but for dogs, it is genuinely one of the most dangerous substances they can consume. Here's why. When a dog eats xylitol, their pancreas mistakes it for real sugar and releases a massive surge of insulin into the bloodstream. That insulin then causes a dramatic and rapid drop in blood sugar, known as hypoglycemia. And this can happen within just 10 to 60 minutes. Symptoms include vomiting, weakness, wobbly walking, collapse, and seizures. In more severe cases, especially with larger amounts, xylitol can also cause acute liver failure within just a day or two. And the scariest part is the amount needed to cause harm is tiny. A single stick of sugar-free gum can be enough to seriously harm a small dog. This is exactly why you should always check ingredient labels before leaving anything containing sweeteners within your dog's reach. And honestly, before letting your dog lick a spoon of peanut butter. Always double check that it doesn't list xylitol anywhere on the label. If you're finding this information genuinely useful, this is a great moment to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we still have 2 more critical foods to cover. Plus, exactly what you should do if your dog accidentally eats any of these, so stay with me. Now let's talk about the 5th food, and this one often surprises people because it's considered a superfood for humans. Avocado. Avocados contain a substance called persin, found in the leaves, skin, and pit, and in smaller amounts within the flesh itself. While dogs are generally more resistant to persin compared to birds or some other animals, it can still cause vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach upset, especially if a dog eats a large quantity or swallows the pit. And here's the bigger, often overlooked danger. The avocado pit itself is a serious choking hazard and can cause a life-threatening intestinal blockage if swallowed, which sometimes requires emergency surgery to remove. So even setting aside persin toxicity, the size and shape of that pit alone makes avocados risky to leave lying around. If you're someone who enjoys avocado toast or guacamole regularly, just be mindful about where you dispose of the pit and skin and keep them completely out of reach. Now that you know these 5 foods, chocolate, grapes and raisins, onions and garlic, xylitol and avocado, let's quickly talk about what you should actually do if your dog eats any of them. Because knowing what to do in the moment matters just as much as knowing the danger itself. First, stay calm. Panicking wastes valuable time. Try to figure out exactly what your dog ate and roughly how much. Take a photo of the packaging if you can. This helps the vet understand the exact ingredients and quantity involved. Do not try to induce vomiting on your own unless a veterinarian specifically instructs you to, because in some cases, vomiting can actually cause more harm depending on what was eaten. Call your regular veterinarian immediately. And if it's after hours, call an emergency animal hospital or a poison control hotline for animals. They can guide you based on your dog's weight, breed, and exactly what was ingested. Time is honestly the most important factor here. The sooner treatment begins, the better the chances of a full recovery. Now here's something worth thinking about for a moment. Dogs trust us completely. They don't read ingredient labels, they don't know what's safe and what isn't. They simply trust that whatever we give them is okay, because we're the ones who feed them, care for them, and love them every single day. That trust is honestly one of the most beautiful things about having a dog in your life, but it also means the responsibility falls entirely on us to know what's actually safe and what isn't. A lot of these poisonings don't happen because someone was careless or a bad owner. They happen simply because nobody told them. Maybe nobody ever explained that grapes could be this dangerous, or that gum with xylitol could put their dog's life at risk within the hour. That's exactly why sharing accurate information like this matters so much, because somewhere out there, someone watching this video right now might stop themselves from sharing a piece of chocolate cake or a stick of gum tonight, and that alone could genuinely save a dog's life. If this video gave you new information you didn't know before, do me one more favor. Drop a comment below and let me know which one of these 5 foods surprised you the most. I genuinely read every comment, and I'd love to hear your dog's name too while you're at it. And if you know another dog owner, a friend, a family member, someone in your neighborhood who has a dog, please share this video with them right now. It genuinely could be the difference between a regular evening and an emergency vet visit for their pet. Sharing this costs you nothing, but it could save someone else's dog completely. Hit that share button, tag a fellow dog owner in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time, because next week we're covering household plants and everyday items that are just as dangerous as these foods. And trust me, some of them will surprise you even more than this list did. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Give your dog an extra hug tonight, and I'll see you in the next video.